Welcome back to yet another video of the Best of GMAT series, and today we are solving a homework question of assumptions. Now this question I had given you for homework for our question 2 of the assumptions. If you want to refer back to that early question, please click the link which is given in this video description. Alright, so we will get into solving this particular question. I hope you have already solved it yourself. Now let's see how we approach it step by step. So our very first step, as usual, would be reading the question stem to identify what question type is this. The conclusion drawn in the first sentence depends on which of the following assumptions. Alright, so clearly this is an assumption question, but we are told something very interesting, that we have to find the assumption behind the conclusion drawn in the first sentence, which means there could be multiple conclusion, there could be a conclusion afterwards, after the first sentence also, but clearly the task is very precisely mentioned that we have to find assumption behind the conclusion of the first sentence. Alright, now that we know what our task is, let's read the paragraph, perform our step number 2, that is, we X-ray the argument to identify what exactly is the premise or what are the premises and what exactly is the conclusion. And here we are discussing about the first line, the conclusion mentioned in the first line. Okay, so let's break down the paragraph. It says, if the airspace around centrally located airports were restricted to commercial airplanes, airliners, and only those private planes equipped with radar, most of the private plane traffic would be forced to use outlying airfields. Okay. Now, in the very first line, what exactly are the premises and what exactly is the conclusion? The premises are saying that if something is done, what is done? If we are restricting the airspace to only commercial airlines, which means commercial airlines will be using the airspace, and the private planes with radar. Okay, so with radar, they will be using the airspace. Only these two would be allowed to use the airspace. In that case, what would happen? Most of the private plane traffic would be forced to use outlying airfields. Most of the private plane would be using outlying airfields. Alright, so outlying airfields would be used by most of the private planes. Now, premise 1 and premise 2 clearly talked about commercial airlines and private planes with radar. Okay, we are somewhere getting to it, but let's also read the rest of it. Such a reduction in the amount of private plane traffic would reduce the risk of mid-air collision around the centrally located airports. Yes, so the last line is exactly a conclusion drawn from the first line's conclusion. But clearly we are told our task here is to find out what is that necessary assumption on which the first conclusion depends. What is necessary? If I have to believe in the conclusion, if the conclusion has to be true, that yes, most of the private airplanes will now be using outlying airfields. They would not be able to use the airspace. What exactly did I assume? What is it that? Right? So this is where we think through what exactly is the gap and we try to frame a shadow answer. Alright. So our shadow answer is somewhere linked with most of the private airplanes. Somewhere we must be assuming that these airplanes, the ones which will be now using the outlying fields, they are not equipped with radar. This is pretty fair to think about a shadow answer because see, we are allowing private planes with radar to use the inner circle of the airspace. So then who are the ones who are going outside? And if majority of them are going outside, that means we are somewhere assuming that most of these private planes would not be equipped with radar, isn't it? They would not be equipped with the radar. Somewhere that's what our assumption is, and that is the reason they would be forced to move outside. All right, this is our shadow step. Now again, in case you're not able to frame this shadow answer, you should look for eliminating options, which doesn't really tell you about most of the private airplanes. What exactly is the reason they are thrown outside? Why will they not be able to use the inner circle or the inner airspace, right? So look for an option which resonates with this particular conclusion, not any other conclusion from the paragraph. That's something to keep in mind. And yes, it's a matter of practice, dear students, for you to be able to understand the scope of any argument, for you to understand the scope or the story boundary of any argument. It requires practice, it requires intentional practice, taking time to break it down, premise, conclusion, and then thinking through, taking pause and thinking through what lies in between, what is hidden, what is missing, right? The more you probe yourself, and you slowly will be able to see that you're able to develop the skill of framing a shadow answer. It's not going to happen overnight, but definitely one day it's going to happen if you keep the discipline of doing this structured practice. All right, now that we have a step 3 done for this particular question, let's look at the options. Option A says, outlying airfields would be as convenient as centrally located airports for most pilots of private planes. Now, understand this option. Outlying airfields would be convenient. Now, if they are convenient, private plane pilots might want to take the outlying spaces, right? It's convenient. So, I might want, if I'm a pilot of a private plane, and if I find there's some area which is convenient for me, the outlying airfields, I might want to take that route. But it doesn't say you, it's not a guarantee that most of us, as in us as pilots, would be thrown outside or would have to take that field, isn't it? I might want it to take based on my wish, my convenience. So this particular option is not necessary for my argument. Do you see that? Right, it's not necessary. Okay, so it's not something my conclusion depends upon, that most of the private airplanes would be now thrown out and they would have to use the outlying fields. So we will have to eliminate this option. Let's look at the next one. Most outlying airfields are not equipped to handle commercial airline traffic. Now we are definitely not, or rather my conclusion is definitely not discussing about commercial airline traffic. So even if my commercial airline traffic is not something that would find it beneficial or convenient to take the outlying airfields, we are not really concerned with this. We are concerned with what is the reason most of the private plane pilots would be having to take the outlying airfields. Option C. Most private planes that use centrally located airports are not equipped with radar. Exactly something that matches with our shadow answer. Now, even if you're not able to frame a shadow answer, you can still see that option C tells me that most private planes would not be equipped with radar, which is an important criteria for private planes who are using the centrally located airports, right? So this option seems to be in alignment with my conclusion. It syncs with my conclusion. And definitely this is necessary for my conclusion. I can keep this on hold. Let's look at option D. Commercial airlines are at greater risk of becoming involved in mid-air collision than are private airlines. Now, this is a very interesting option. It tells me that majority commercial airlines are involved, or there's a higher risk for commercial airlines to be involved in mid-air collision. Now, if you notice my last statement of the paragraph, which was basically a peripheral conclusion, we could say, to the first line, first conclusion. So that conclusion in the last line talked about that there will be a reduction in mid-air collisions. Now, this option D could suit well as a necessary element, as a necessary assumption to that particular conclusion. So there might be some confusion which can arise with option D, but if you know, if you read the question carefully, that my conclusion of the first line is what I am trying to find an assumption for, you would not be swayed away by option D. So please be careful about that. D is not our assumption for the first line. Lastly, option E, a reduction in risk of mid-air would eventually lead to increase in commercial airline traffic. Again, what will happen if the conclusion takes place? It's more like an inference. We can infer this from the last line of the argument, from the last conclusion of the argument. This could be inferred, but this is not necessary. It's not an assumption. Remember the structure always. Premises and a hidden premise leads to conclusion, leads to an inference. So assumption is always within the story's boundary of your argument, right? So correct answer should be option C. I hope you understood this question. If you have any questions, any doubts, please feel free to comment. I would be more than happy to answer all your queries. If you want something more to be discussed in question format, please let us know. We would be happy to help you in all such aspects of your GMAT preparation. I'll see you very soon. Till then, take care and stay safe.